What if I told you that you could perform the Destiny deck effect, but without having to have the gaff deck itself? What if I also told you that you could perform the same effect, but with a randomly named card? What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. I'm kicking off this year's reviews with Workers Review number 15, Destiny's Child by Cameron Francis. Now, this card gem has been in my repertoire for the past couple of years. It's an excellent opener and it ticks all of the boxes of what a worker should be. Although you'll be surprised that it's not the main effect I'm talking about, it's actually the bonus effect that is taught on this instructional. So you can pick this up for $10. You'll get a 33-minute instructional video where you're going to learn the main handling of Destiny's Child, and then you're going to learn 3 versions of the bonus effect, which is what I'm calling the real worker here. Now, before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I have some subscriber goals that if we reach, then I'm going to put out some new top 5 mentalism reviews that you guys are going to absolutely love. So subscribe to the channel, and the sooner we get there, the sooner I'm going to put those out for you guys. Now, getting back to Destiny's Child by Cameron Francis, this was his way of emulating the Destiny deck by David Gonzalez, except that there's no gaff deck. That's the beauty of it, because if you do have the Destiny deck, then you will understand that it's a very fragile deck that you have to be very careful of, and that you're kind of limited on what you can do with it. You can only perform those routines that you're taught on there. You definitely can't hand it out to your spectator and let them look at it or mess with it. So there are a lot of restrictions with that gaff deck. So if you could perform something similar to that, but with a regular deck, just think about how strong that is. So let's get into the main handling, and then we're going to talk about what I'm calling the worker, which is really the bonus effect. So the main handling here, you're going to take out a deck of cards, you're going to let the spectator cut it a couple of times, and they're going to cut it, they're going to take the card that they cut to, and they're just going to stab it in the deck somewhere. You're going to be able to tell them the identity of the card that they just randomly stopped at, and then you're going to turn it over to prove that that really is the card that you named. And then in continuation, you turn the whole deck over and you're going to show them that the whole deck is in order. So what's going to be even more amazing is they're going to notice that they managed to stab the card in the right spot to put it right where it belongs. So for instance, if it was like a 10 of diamonds, they put it between the 9 and the jack of diamonds. That's the first phase. So then the second phase of the effect is that now you have a second spectator make a selection. You put it on the table. They're going to do it the same way. They're going to cut the deck. Then you're going to put their selection on the table. The moment they touch it, it transforms into the first person's selection. They can turn it over and see that. And then you're going to spread the cards face up, and you're going to show them in that exact position where the first person's card should be is now the second spectator's selection. So it's a transposition. And that's Destiny's Child as taught by Cameron Francis. That's the main effect. Some of you may like it a lot. I don't think it's a bad effect. I think it's a good effect. But I prefer the bonus effect that's taught, especially if you present it as a prediction. It just absolutely slays people. And what I like to do is I like to use an odd back card as a prediction, although you could have it written down. Now, Cameron Francis is going to teach you 3 versions of this type of effect. And he starts out with the idea that you let the spectator cut the deck a couple of times, and then you're going to announce a card to them, like say like the 5 of hearts. Then you're going to spread the cards, and the card that they select is going to be that 5 of hearts. And so you could do it that way, like off the cuff, but I prefer to do it where you have a prediction ahead of time. And what you're going to do is you're going to, again, do it the same way, the same handling, where they're going to select a card, and impossibly the card they selected matches the prediction that you had made ahead of time. And that's extremely strong. And the reason why this effect works so well is because of this idea of perceptual restoration that we have as humans. And we've known about this since the 1970s, which is that your brain is designed for pattern recognition and to fill in blanks. So when you see something, your brain will fill in the blanks of what it didn't see, almost like an assumption. You know, this is how we assume things. And so this is why a lot of times when you watch a magic effect, you may watch it and the first time you're completely fooled. The second time you see it, you might pick up on something you didn't see the first time and be like, oh, wait a second. And then you'll realize that there's some inconsistency there that you didn't realize the first time. And that's why I think that this prediction type effect is so powerful. And it very strongly resembles the Destiny deck. It looks exactly like it. So the first handling that you're going to learn, he calls it the bold handling. And this is the only version really that I use. And the reason is because it fools everyone. It fools all lay people and it absolutely destroys them. And what it looks like is, again, you put out a prediction or you have the prediction somewhere and you're going to have the spectator touch a card. They can change their mind, but you're going to take half of the deck and you're going to turn it face up and spread it on the table. You're going to put their card on the table, then you're going to spread the other half face up on the table. And they're able to see, you can show them how the whole deck is in order. So they're going to see that. And of course, right there in the middle where you separated, where they made their selection, the missing card, they turn over the card that's face down that you put on the table. That's it. That's the missing card, the one that they selected. And of course, it matches your prediction perfectly. Now, it's really great because there's a very bold discrepancy in this handling. And you may say to yourself, oh, is that really going to fool people? It fools everyone. And I think the main reason why is that when they see that the deck is completely in order, and of course, right there where you separated the cards, where they made their selection, that missing card fits in there perfectly. Again, it goes back to that same idea of assumption. Their brain just fills in the blanks and they accept that that is the card that they selected one way or the other. The beauty of this is there's no difficult sleight. It's so simple to do. It's like absolute beginner level, but so powerful because of the whole deck being in order. It's just like a nail in the coffin. And so your spectators they'll be in a corner. They won't know which way to look because they'll just accept it completely. And so that's my favorite version of the effect to perform. And I think once you learn it, you're going to be using it also nonstop, just like how I have. And the beauty of it is now you've got just your regular deck that you can let them shuffle. Now, if you wanted to do it with just a randomly named card that the person names themselves, you would have to use like a mark deck so you don't have to look at any of the faces. But if you use a mark deck, then you could do the exact same effect and you could have them randomly name a card. Again, you can have them select a card. You could turn half the deck face up, the other half face up, and the card they selected is their named card, which goes right where it should in the spread. It's going to absolutely blow them away. So that's really the main first handling that you're going to learn. And then the second handling is an in the hands handling that you can do if you don't have a table. And let me show you guys a quick demo of what that looks like. Here's a quick demonstration of the prediction type effect I mentioned to you guys that looks and feels like the Destiny deck. And of course, I prefer the table version, but I wanted to at least show you guys what the in the hands version could look like. So here, you're going to take out a prediction card, or you could present the prediction any way you want to. You can have it written down. You can have the card sticking out of your pocket. You could even leave it in the box if you want. Whatever fits your persona. And then when you're ready to go, you're going to tell a spectator that you want them to make a selection. You're going to say, just touch any card that you like. As you spread, they're going to touch a card. You're going to say, you like that one or you want me to go further? Maybe they want you to go further. Wherever they're happy, they'll eventually stop. And then you'll say, look, we're going to take this half and I'm going to turn them face up and I'm going to put them on top of your selection, and we're going to just leave your selection here underneath it. The other half we're going to turn face up underneath that one. Now here's what's important is you'll notice that all these cards are actually in order. You notice that all the spades are in order. So if you had touched one of these, you would have had a spade. Here's all the diamonds. If you had touched one of these diamonds, you would have had one of those. Here's the face down card that you touched, and notice that it's between the Jack and the King of Hearts. And you can keep spreading and show them that all the hearts are in order, all the clubs are in order, and then you can let them take their face down card. They'll turn it over and they'll see that, of course, it's the Queen of Hearts. and it fits perfectly between the king and the jack. And then the prediction card, of course, matches. And that's very strong right there. They're going to be just kind of amazed. And it leaves you in this position where now you can let them shuffle up your deck, because you're just using a regular deck here, and you can go right into the next piece that you want to do with your spectators. All right, you took a look at the in the hands version of what this prediction effect could look like, and I think it's also very strong, especially if you don't have a table available, but I prefer the table version just because of the aesthetic quality of it spread out, and because their selection never goes out of sight. I think that's really important too, which is why I prefer the table version. And then the third handling that you will learn on the video is one that does require some sleight of hand that is a little bit more difficult. The sleight is not easy, and so a lot of people probably would try not to do it. But to be honest with you, I don't see any reason to use the third handling, because I think the bold version is really the only version you need, really. And that's why I emphasize to you guys to check it out and try it out. I think you guys are gonna really like it a lot. It's a very strong opener, very visual, impossible, and it just blows people away, which is why I'm presenting this to you guys today so you guys can check it out. Anyway, as usual, if you have any questions or comments about this or any of the material I present here on my channel, just leave me a comment below. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I hope that this is helpful to you, and I'll see you on the next review.